This is an India Today exclusive. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the UAE is very, very important, strategic, economic, as also of great importance when it comes to connectivity. I'm being joined by India's ambassador to the UAE, Sunjay Sudhir. Ambassador Sudhir, many thanks for joining us here on India Today. What are the big takeaways when it comes to Prime Minister Modi's visit this time around? This is the fifth. Goes to show how important UAE has become for India in not just the security architecture, but the larger global and regional perspective. Share your thoughts and throw some light on this visit.
Well, certainly it's a very significant visit. It will be Prime Minister Modi's fifth visit, as you said, in the last 9 years. Moreover, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed has visited India twice in 2015, 2016 and 17. In 2017, actually, he was there for the Republic Day as chief guest, and also for the signing of the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Agreement. So between the leaders, there have been 7 visits actually between our two countries. But then, COVID, that period of 2 to 3 years, that didn't really deter us. Our leaders were in contact, though virtual. In fact, the historic CEPA agreement was signed during the most difficult days of pandemic in February last year, when during a virtual summit, CEPA agreement was signed. Not only CEPA, but also a joint vision statement was launched by the leaders. And the vision document is more like a roadmap for the relationship to follow. The CEPA, again, was very historic. It was the first CEPA ever for the UAE, first CEPA for us in this part of the world. And the results are tell their own story, because in the last 1 year, bilateral trade has shown an increase of about 19+%. Now it's about $85 billion, which is huge. And it's the same trajectory for investments as well. For our financial year 22-23, UAE was actually the 4th largest source of FDI with FDI of about $3.5 billion US dollars. So there is a big story to tell, not only in trade investment, but in other sectors as well.
What's the big takeaway from this visit? Are there some important announcements that would be made? It's an official visit, not a state visit, but nonetheless, what's the important takeaway that we should be expecting from this visit?
Well, this visit comes within a year of his last visit to Abu Dhabi. So I think the most important takeaway, as you rightly said in the beginning, is the frequency of interaction between the two leaders. That itself signifies a lot, because this relationship has actually got transformed in the last few years, and this transformation is guided by the vision of our two leaders. So one thing we can certainly expect is the signing of an MOU for the establishment of a campus of Indian Institute of Technology in Abu Dhabi, which will be a major thing between our two countries. Other than that, just a couple of days back, ADNOC and Indian Oil signed a long-term LNG contract for 1.2 million metric tons for a period of 14 years. This is the first time that India and UAE are actually signing a long-term contract in LNG. And I think that itself tells how strong or how much stronger our energy relationship is getting. Other than that, there would be a few more very concrete deliverables for which you'll have to wait for half a day.
Ambassador Sudhir, you're in Abu Dhabi at a very, very important time and juncture in India-UAE relations. But many ask, in the West Asia outreach of India's foreign policy, why the UAE? Why not any other country? Why the focus on engaging the country that you're in right now?
Well, since I'm accredited to the UAE, I can comment only about the UAE. And I think everybody has witnessed how good the going has been, because both leaders have actually invested a lot of time and energy and effort to increasing this relationship. Things like CEPA never happen in 88 days. I mean, it's unheard of. But then that happened. Not only did it happen, the results are there for everybody to see. And uh, investment follows trade. People to people contact, which is one of the very key pillars of this relationship. We have about 3.5 million Indian nationals in this country, the largest number anywhere in any part of the world. But people to people contact also gets further strengthened if more and more trade happens, more investment happens. We have about more than 3.5 million Indian tourists also in addition. So the liberalized visa regime which this country has followed, Indians have taken good advantage of that, the golden visa scheme and other things. By and large, the environment of harmony, tolerance, which this country provides, has encouraged a lot of Indians to make this country a second home, be a part of the economy and the society here, and at the same time, be equally connected to India.
Well, also one very important aspect, Ambassador Sudhir, is trust, the relationship that's growing and a trusted partnership that we're now seeing. The examples I give is the fact that the UAE has backed India on Kashmir. India has been hosting the G20 events in Kashmir, and UAE has been a part of it. That certainly speaks volumes. Do you think that, and all the extraditions and ensuring that those who are wanted in India do not get safe or have safe havens anymore in the UAE, are certainly areas that have not just given a boost, but could that be one of the reasons why we're seeing increased and strengthened ties between the two countries?
Well, certainly, trust is a very fundamental pillar of any relationship, whether it's a personal relationship or a relationship between countries. And I think there is a lot of trust between the leaders, between our institutions, between our countries. And that is also something which has really propped this relationship and made it grow that rapidly. You spoke about OIC. Just look at the UNSC. When we overlapped for 1 year, we worked so closely, so well together in the UNSC. I can give you one more example relating to Kashmir, for instance. In March this year, there was a large India-US UAE investment summit which took place in Srinagar, hosted by the Lieutenant Governor there. And you would have seen the huge turnout of big names from the UAE in there for serious investments. Actually, Emma Group announced an investment of about 500 crores to set up a shopping mall and multiple towers in Srinagar. I think that is the strength of the relationship, because that's how trust gets manifested in so many ways.
And finally, before I let you go, another very important aspect and event that is very important for the UAE this year is COP28. And that certainly is very close to both the leaders' hearts, particularly Prime Minister Modi, which is climate change. What's the conversation on that front? Is there also, amidst all the criticism that the UAE faces, certainly a show of solidarity by India?
Climate change is a global issue. And India has shown that it is serious about it by walking the talk. And we feel and we see the same seriousness in the UAE as it is the president of COP28. We've been working very closely on COP28 related issues on climate action and other things. I must also share with you that the first meeting scheduled for tomorrow for Prime Minister's visit is actually a meeting with Dr. Sultan Jaber, the president designate for COP28, where a lot of these things will be discussed. A lot of his agenda is actually based on what we also say very openly. For instance, we talk about a just energy transition. We talk about fixing the climate finance issue, focusing on people's life and livelihood, making climate action inclusive, particularly with reference to concerns of the global south. And I think these are items which the UAE presidency has taken very seriously. So we are working very closely on climate action and COP28 as well.
On that note, Ambassador Sudhir, many thanks for joining us here in India today, and best wishes for Prime Minister's visit.
Thank you very much.